This is Zeke Muddy River Fishing Buddies, and I have made something. I got to thinking about something that I needed, and I've made it. And the more I got to thinking about it, I got to think about there's all kind of uses for this thing. The thing that I needed it for basically was to plug up my light on my boat, maybe my camera once in a while. But I got to thinking about it, and I think there's a whole lot of things that I can use with this. And I've made a battery box, battery bank battery box. I'm gonna let you look at it right here. And I have a port here that you can plug in a USB, different kinds. And then it has a little voltage, turn it on. It tells you how many volts are in the battery. I also have a cigarette lighter port. There's an off and on switch that's right here that turns this off. On the back side of it, I've put a cord, and I'll show you why. This thing, there's this multi-purpose, multifunctional cord that's on the back. And what I can do with that is actually one thing I can do is I can take my bait tank, which is right here. And my bait tank has this kind of cord on it with a plug that I can unplug. I plug it back up, and this end has the battery terminal clamps that I can plug up on my negative and my positive side of my battery if it's in my boat. But if I'm somewhere where I'm using the bait tank and I don't have the boat or I don't have the truck battery, I can unplug that and plug it up right there, and my bait tank will keep working. That's one use for it. Another use is when I charge the batteries in the box. I have this type of battery charger, and it has the same kind of cord. It has a cord with your battery clamps, but it also has that disconnect plug that'll come apart. I can plug up my battery charger, plug this to that, and it'll charge the batteries that are in here without me having to open all this up and hook these clamps on the battery. Because I have two batteries in here because I have them in series, and I'll explain that later also. But that charges these batteries. Now the reason that I come up with this thing or wanted this thing was when I'm out on the boat, I can take this, and when my camera's dying, I can plug it up. If my phone's dying, I can plug it up. But there's other things that I got to think about this that I could use this for, or you could use this for if you had one. I'm sitting in a yard chair, and I got to thinking about these things, and I've often sit in a yard chair when I was at a ball game, and like a baseball game or a soccer game, because I had children. I have a grandchild now, and I know there's a lot of people out there that spend a lot of time at soccer games and at baseball games. And the thing about soccer and baseball, they're in the summertime and it's hot and you're in the sun, and there's most of the time there's not shade. So I bought one of these, a fan that I can clip on the chair, turn it towards me, but it's not moving because it needs electricity. Look at there. Plug this in, and now I can sit there and I can watch the soccer game, I can watch the baseball game, and I can have the fan blowing on me and cool me off. Ain't that great? Another thing I was thinking about, suppose I was sitting in a kayak. Take this chair, make this was a kayak, and I got a fan, I got my camera, and if you have a GoPro, you know that the GoPro batteries aren't that great. So what I can do is I could plug up my GoPro, plug it into my battery bank, and now when I catch that big catfish, my camera's not dead. When you catch your big catfish or big bass or whatever kind of fish in your kayak, you'll be sure to get it on your camera to put on your YouTube channel. Not to mention, in a kayak, I could put a an end like this on a fish finder, and you can plug it into that battery bank. If you're camping and you have your kids camping, and you know kids nowadays, when their phones die, they're in an uproar. Now you can take your phone charger, your phone cord, plug it up, plug into the phone, charge your kids' phones, and you don't have to hear that, or your phone. Or if you're on the kayak, or if you're on the boat, or if you're out watching a ball game, you can plug your phone up so that it doesn't die. Another thing that I've used it for on my boat is I have a battery powered spotlight for when it gets dark. And if you've ever been in the boat at night when it got dark, things get different. And if you can't see, it's not good. Plug your light up, plug it in, get your light charged, you've always got light. Another thing that I was thinking about with this battery box is we're going to start going camping when it cools off a little bit. So we bought the tent, and now that I'm older and a lot fatter, sleeping on the hard ground is not like it used to be when I was younger. So I bought an air mattress, and I was thinking about the air mattress because it's a queen size air mattress, and I got out, you know, the thing about putting this thing in the tent that's set up, folding out the air mattress, and this is the pump for the air mattress, and this is the cord for the air mattress that plugs into the wall. Well, there's no wall plug in that tent out in the woods, so this one's no good. It also comes with this one, with that end that plugs into a cigarette lighter. So I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? Drag that thing out of the tent, back to the truck, plug this up, plug it in the truck, blow up my air mattress, so a queen size air mattress that's 14 inches thick, drag that thing back to the tent and try to get it back in there. I have a better way. Plug this up, put this into the air mattress, plug it up into your battery box, plug the air mattress up, or blow the air mattress up in the tent, problem solved. These are just a few things that I thought of using a battery box that I've made right here. And you think about it, I mean, kayaks, out watching ball games, fishing, camping, plug up your light in your tent. Make sure that it doesn't go dead. Get a rechargeable light that you can recharge. Plug this thing up. I mean, you can always take these and plug up into this cable. And if you're out in the woods or out camping, you could actually plug this to your truck battery or car battery, and it would charge your box for later that night. So those are a few things that I found out to use with this, and I know there's got to be thousands more, but that's a few things kind of get your mind going. Now I'm going to show you how I built this. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions, and I want to let you know that, let me open this up, you can keep a spare camera cord. You could keep a spare phone cord so that you would always have it in here. Hey folks, this is Zeke with Muddy River Fishing Buddies, and it's March the 26th, Saturday. Went fishing this morning. The wind got up. The wind's blowing about, I don't know, probably 20 miles an hour or more. Makes it bad for fishing, so decided to come home and get a couple projects that I've been needing to do that I haven't done, because anytime I have spare time I want to go fishing. So today I'm going to make a portable battery bank box that you can carry with you. I can plug up my camera, plug up my phone, plug up my light that I didn't have the other night because my battery was dead. But I'm going to make that, and I'm going to show you how I've done it. I'm going to make this out of an ammo box that I got at Harbor Freight, and this is the small one. It was about, I think, $6. This is a big one. I think it was $10. So that's the difference in them. I'm going to make it out of the small one. I got a couple of 12-volt batteries. These are 5 amp hours. I'm going to put them in series to where I can keep my 12 volts, but I have 10 amp hours of power with these. I ordered online on Amazon. I got this, it's a USB port, and I got a cigarette lighter port, and then I got an off and on switch too, and I'm going to show you how to wire it. I'll show you how to put them in and all that. And I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I've got this it's an old battery charger that doesn't work, and then the cord on this, it's got your clamps. Well, this thing comes apart. It's got a cord on it, connector, and it also came with another one. So I'm going to put this in there too, and then later I'll show you what I'm doing with that. But I'm going to make a bait tank to where I can plug into these batteries to where if I had the bait tank on the bank or in my truck or somewhere, I could keep the bait alive with the pump going. So I'll show you all that. My USB and cigarette lighter ports, they came with this little cover. So I'm going to place this cover on my box, and then I'm going to draw the magic marker, the circles where I'm going to drill my hole. This cover is for 3. I only got 2. The little switch they sent with me is too small to go in that hole, so I'm going to have to put it separate. But I've got a spare if I get anything else to put in there later. Now I'm going to take my drill with some people call it a step bit, some people call it a very bit, but it's got different graduations in there to where you can see this bit is the size of my inserts there, so I'm going to go all the way through. Make sure they fit. Yep. Put them in the cover, push it in there. It came with little screws that aren't magnetized. This little switch, have to basically what you have to do is drill a hole the same size as what that is, and it snaps in there. There you have it. Off and on switch, cigarette lighter port, USB port. Okay, now I've got all my stuff in the side of the box. I got to wire my batteries. Like I said, I'm going to wire these in series. Now this kit came basically with this, and there's not enough. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do this other cord on it also, which I need to put a hole on this side. For this cord. Put this in a hole, then I'm going to tie a knot in it so it can't pull out. I want to get that knot up here about as close as I can get it to give me wire inside. So now we've got a knot in there where that can't pull out. Alright, what I'm doing is I'm making little jumpers. I'm taking the red wire, I'm stripping out 2 ends. I got the jumper part that I've already made, and I've got another piece that I can cut whatever length I want. And I strip those out with a pair of wire strippers. strip the ends off, I twist them together, then I've got a crimp that will fit on these spades. Then I slide over that wire, then I take the crimp pliers and I crimp that down on the wire. So, and just keep doing that until you get all that you need to, so I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna hook up this other wire. These are connected to the red, to the fuse. I'm gonna connect this to the battery. The blue things plug on little spades like that. Okay, now I'm gonna hook my jumper wires, and this is the end of it. I'm gonna hook it to my cord that I got out the side. And I want the red one to be on the part that's insulated. You don't want the red one on this, because then if you do, then that's your positive side of your battery. That thing would be hot all the time when this is plugged up, and you don't want that. Anything it touched could spark. So you want your red one to be the one that's insulated. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna butt splice these two together. This is a butt splice. Strip your wire, slide it over, crimp it with the crimp tool. And this is the other end of this. You slide that wire in. And don't pinch your finger. Crimp it down. And then basically you do the same thing with the blacks. So now I've got all of my crimps on, and I can start crimping. I can start sliding them onto my pieces. There is a positive and negative on the back of these, and you want to make sure you get them right. When you have a switch, I messed up to start with, you don't put all those together to the battery. You put your positive side to one side of that switch, and then you'll run the battery to the other side. But since I've got two batteries, basically what I need to do now is I got to wire my batteries in series. Now this will hook to the switch. These two will hook to the battery. Power has to go through the fuse to get to these things. So that puts your fuse in line that protects all this. Two batteries in there that are in series, and I'll explain that. And what being in series means on these is I have two 12-volt batteries that are 5 amp hours each. And when you wire batteries in series, you go from the positive to the positive of the next battery. You go from negative to the negative of the next battery. And what that does is that keeps the voltage at 12 volts, but it doubles my amp hours. So I've got 12 volts of power, but I have 10 amp hours of energy to use. If you wire your batteries parallel, and I'm just going to explain this, if you go from your positive of one battery to the negative of the next battery, and then the negative on the first battery and the positive of the second battery, take that to your device or whatever you're using, whether it be, say if you did it in a boat, you had two 12-volt batteries in your boat, you wire a negative to the positive, and then you take the positive of one and the negative of the other one that you're not using, and go to say a trolling motor, that gives you 24 volts. That doubles the voltage, but your amp hours stay the same. So in this case, I could have 24 volts of power, but only still 5 amp hours of current to go through there. We're not doing that. We're wiring them in series because everything that I have here is 12 volts. So you'll go from positive to positive, negative to negative. And that's the way that you do that. This is Zeke, and again, I'm going to show you how I did this, and I hope this is informative. I hope this helps make you a battery box to take with you. And if you like the video, I ask that you subscribe and keep watching. I'll keep making things and keep fishing and just keep having a good time. Thank you for watching.